I'm Chris Thomas, and this is Master Class.
I have a question for you about Urashi no Kon. There's this movement towards the end of the form. You're here. A series of movements. Thrust. I'm very curious about this, and I'd like you to go through and explain it if you could. Thank you.
Steve, that is a great question. The movements are, that looks really goofy. And the great thing about that question is it gives us an insight not only into this movement in Urashi no Kun, but it also gives us an insight into a movement found in the kata Tokomine no Kun. So let's start out with it's not for the bow. General rule of thumb is anytime you see something that's done under the arm like this, what we call side strike, that it's not for the bow. Today I'm going to use an oar, but there's a lot of other things. I've been thinking a lot about how this movement can be, what it would look like with a hoe, what's called a kua. Kua in Okinawan dialect. Kua means a hoe. It's kind of what's called a grub hoe or a field hoe. So, but I'm going to use an oar. So we come off here, and you're in this position right here like this, okay? So one of the things about movements like this is that they have this tendency to want you to position. A lot of what's going on is you have to pay attention to how you're holding things. Am I holding things the right way? Are the edges where they're supposed to be so I can use them? So there's a little bit of this kind of looking around stuff. And so what's really happening is it's not really coming off of this movement with this kind of flashy flourish. The assumption is more like this. I'm walking along this way. I have my oar on my shoulder. Suddenly I have to fight. So what I do is when I realize something's going on, I take it here from behind, kind of behind my head. I bring it over and I grab it this way. And then I grab like this. And now we get this action that we're looking at. Now, when we see this movement, what we think about all the time is right here. Like I'm hitting with that end. And that's not it at all, because that's not where the strength is predominantly. If you look at the movement and the dynamics of the movement, you're spinning and dropping. That actually puts strength on the backside. So this is a very strong position of my arm for holding anything. It's very hard to take this away from me when I'm here. And so basically, this is all we do. And I'm actually entering into his attack. So he's attacking me, and I enter that. You saw how I used the back end here, this right behind my head. As he's attacking me, I'm using this, whoa, boom, but I'm really just trying to enter. Look where this goes, right here. Now, you see this little right angle here? We're going to hook that just like this. Right now, there's already pain. My elbow is locked in on his jaw. Now I keep stepping, and I pull him down, and he's landing on my knee. And that's it. Now when I switch over, there he goes. And that becomes the next move of the form. So you see we're using the weapon in this way. So it looks goofy until you actually see it in application. Then you can see that it's actually not. It actually makes a lot of sense. This also allows me to get down. I have a little bit of protection against other potential opponents. When I stand up, I get to hit him, finish him off. Come here. He's coming with his attack. So I know this looks weird, but you have to enter here. It's all smooth, continuous motion this way. See the elbow pressing. This is where all the strength is. Then you stand up to finish if that's what you need to do. Not for the bow. So you change weapons and you find out it works really well. Now here's where I said it gives us insight into a movement from Tokomine. Because if you look at this motion in Urashi no Kun, you know, when I'm doing this, right? Well, how about this movement in, we have a similar movement in Tokomine. Can I have that? Right, so I'm here and I go 1, 2, right? Okay. Now this time I'm not going to use the sharp edge. I'm going to use the back edge so it would work for a bow. But I'm standing like this, boom, hit, cut, step. You see? And I just pull him down. Like this. So that's this position. And in Urashi, it's this position. So I come, whoa, boom. See the entry? So in Tokomine, we're here, 1, 2. So what this is teaching me two different kind of similar ways of dealing with the same thing. I go 1. That's the first one is a simple just, you hear bang, bang. The second one is the deeper one. I'm entered more deeply. I come here behind this way and pull him down. So in the kata, right, here I can go 1, then I go 2. So they're really the same technique. It's just two different ranges. So the 1 is right there. And the 2 one is more deep. Whoa! See how I've hooked in? This drops him and he's landing on my knee. Plus I'm getting low. This is where all the strength is. So when you look at both of these movements, whether it's in Tokomine, watch where the strength is. The strength is dropping. This is where the strength is. The strength is all this way. See, that's where the power is. Because I'm dropping. So I'm going to use that power. I'm going to use that strength. Tokomine is hooking here. Urashi here. Using the edge because of the pressures that creates on the neck, stuff like that. Now it might be a different weapon than this, but it works nicely with this weapon. And then we come up, strike, right? Boom. And we, keep going. That's a really good question you asked. And what it does is it opens up for us not just one kata, but a couple of katas. And it also gives you a principle. When you're looking at a difficult movement, trying to say, well, what is this for? Look where the forces go. Ask yourself this question, where are the force lines happening? And if you can figure out where the force is going and understand that that's where the work is being done, then you'll be in a much better position to come up with application that really makes sense. Thanks for the question, Steve, and thanks for watching. Now go train.